So hello guys, what's up and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's me, your girl barrister Nesse, and this is Nezeville. I got a story. This now a story. Hey, I got a story. I got a story. This not the story. Yeah. DJ, hit me. No. Hit me, DJ.
I got a story. I got a story.
An identical twin, also known as a monozygotic twin. One single fertilized egg, called the ovum, splits and develops into two babies with the same exact genetic information. Twins, identical twins, are mostly classified as the two closest people in the world. Same striking resemblance in looks. Many times you find them dressing similarly. They can literally feel each other's pulses from miles apart. It is even said that many times when one twin falls ill, the other one takes ill as well. And sometimes, even when one twin passes on, the other follows suit. They are typically that close and inseparable. But today's story is a contrast to that supposition. It is the story of identical twins, unidentical in their ideals. It is the story of twins bound by birth and separated by ambition or women. It is the story of Peter and Paul. It is the story of PSQUARE. Peter and Paul are indigents of Ifete-Dunu in Anambra State, southeastern region of Nigeria. They were born in Jos of Plateau State on the 18th of November 1981. They were born into a modest Catholic family of Moses Okoye, their businessman father, and Josephine Okoye, a pastor mother. They were raised with strict Christian virtues. Some people were born stars, while some others create a star in themselves. Peter and Paul can be said to be born stars. They had a gift and a passion for music, and they began harnessing their potential right from when they were in high school at St. Murumba College in Jos. Peter and Paul were involved in everything and anything creative while they were in secondary school. They were in the school music club, in the school drama club, and they were singing and dancing. Right there in secondary school, they would practice mimes and choreographies, modeling themselves after the late legend Michael Jackson, and they would perform at school occasions and other small functions. In 1997, they went ahead with their friends to form a music and dance group called Smooth Criminal. After high school, Peter and Paul proceeded to the University of Jos for their diploma program, and when they were done, they gained admission to the University of Abuja for their degree program in 1999. They studied business administration. While at the University of Abuja studying, Peter and Paul did not lose touch of their music, their craft, and their passion. Their earlier formed group, Smooth Criminal, died a natural death when they and other friends that they had formed it with dispersed to other parts of the country for their university education. So they formed another group consisting of just the both of them. They named it Double P, and then P and P, and then the P's, before eventually settling for PSQUARE, a name that was spontaneously given to them by a friend. Although PSQUARE at this time had gotten some local popularity in Jos where they grew up and in Abuja where they were schooling, what shot them to national limelight was in 2001. PSQUARE had participated in a Benson and Hedges talent show called Grab the Mic, and they won. This made Benson and Hedges offer to sponsor their album. Their debut album was titled Last Night, and it was released under Timbuktu record label. This album fetched them a nomination for the most promising African group at the Kora Awards in 2003. It also gave them a win at the 2003 Amen Awards in the category of Best R&B Group. 2 years later, in May of 2005, P-Square released their second studio album named Get Squared. Let us just call this album their breakthrough album. Oh my god, this album came with lots of hits. It had Busybody in it. Oh my god, with your busybody, oh. Hey,
With your busybody, yeah. With your busybody, yeah.
it had Temptation. This not temptation, hey, with a little confusion, hey, infatuation, oh yeah.
This not temptation, with a little confusion. Oh, no.
It had Omogemi, it had Say Your Love, no they die, say your feelings, no they cry.
You say your love, no they lie. You say your feelings, no they die.
Oh my god, if you remember the hits in this album, begin to drop in the comment section. Which of these bedus was your favorite? Which of them did you rock and rock? Which of them made you to sneak out in your mini skirts that your mother caught you and flogged you 24? Which of these hits scattered your dada? Start to drop in the comment section. But yes, the Get Squared album was a hit, a massive success. It was the highest selling album of that year. Its success was so monumental that the album earned them a nomination at the 2006 MTV Awards in the category of Best African Act. It also earned them 5 whole awards in one night at the Headies Awards. Their achievements was overwhelming, but P-Square, they were just getting started. In 2007, 2 years after the Get Squared album, P-Square transcended from the Nigerian scene and broke into Africa as a continent. They released their third studio album, Game Over, and truly, my dear brothers and sisters, game was over. Game Over boasts of several hits, such as Roll It. Boy, I like the way you roll it, eh?
Girl, I love the way you roll it. See how you control it. Ooh.
It had No One Like You. No one like you, one like you.
Oh yeah, one like. Oh yeah, one like.
Which became the wedding anthem in the whole country. What about Ifunaya? Oh, Ifunaya, Leluwaya, Ifunaya, Onyembunobi, Onyembunobi.
Ifunanya, oh, Ifunanya, oh, Ifunanya, oh, Onyembunobi.
And when Do Me dropped, Do Me I Do You. Man no go vex, step on the dance floor. Man no go vex, touch me, I touch you. Hey, man no go vex.
Girl, I love the way you do me, do me, do me, do me, do me, do me, do me. Boy, I love the way you do me, do me.
When Do Me dropped, oh my god, the clubs were set ablaze. This album won them the best group at the MTV Africa Music Awards in 2008 and the Channel O Music Video Awards as well. Having conquered Africa, literally, P-Square believed that it was time to extend their tentacles far beyond the continent and spread to the rest of the world, especially America and Europe. In 2009, another 2 years after the Game Over album, they came with a bang with their fourth studio album called Danger. Oh no. this was not just coming through with a bang. This was coming through like deng reng. It was coming through like deng reng. They came through like deng reng. Come through like deng reng.
When I take a step, you hear bang. I take a third step, you hear bang, I come through like bang,
with their antenna on very high frequency. Danger had several hits, like Danger itself. Almost see danger, danger, wahala de. I dey see danger, danger, wahala de.
I dey see danger, danger, wahala de. You go see danger, danger, wahala de.
It had No Easy featuring Jay Martins and Possibility featuring the legendary Two-Face Idibia. This album earned them a lot of international accolades, including being the first Nigerian artist to be nominated at the BET Awards and the Kora Awards Artist of the Year. They became the second Nigerian act to win that category since Femi Kuti in 1999. They were awarded a whopping $1 million for that win. And that year, that very year of success, they embarked on their first American tour. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is very, very important that you follow me through this story because we are getting somewhere. Oh, we certainly are. P-Square scored a very big mark on international collaborations with their fifth album, Invasion. This album had Chop My Money featuring Akon, and it also had Beautiful Onyinye with Rick Ross featured in it. Their attainment of international success was not in question at all. They signed a record deal with Akon's record label, Convict Music, and then they sealed a distribution deal with Universal Music. That year, Forbes listed P-Square amongst the 40 most powerful celebrities in Africa. Their sixth album was in 2014 and it was titled Double Trouble. It had a Jajo in it featuring American rapper T.I. It had Shekini in it. Oh my god. Oh yeah, Shekini ni Buruba. Shekini ni.
Oh yeah, shaking ni ni. Oh yeah, shaking ni ni. Oh yeah, shaking no no.
Oh my god. Shekini was that one song that got P-Square to break right into the Arab market. People went gaga when they heard Bring It On. Bring it on. Bring it on. Are you ready? Unu ready?
Bring it on. Bring it on. Are you ready? Unu ready?
Testimony had people drooling in excitement. And personally, oh my god, personally, I go deal with you personally. Eh, haba, habatically, saga, not for dictionary.
I deal with you personally. Personally.
And when Alingo came, dancing Alingo, hey, the way that you move, oh.
Hey, yeah, you got me dancing a lingo. The way that you move in your window. Dancing a lingo.
A quick reminder, if you're new here, you are seeing my face for the first time, or if you've been watching without subscribing, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give this video a very big thumbs up, drop all your comments down in the comment section, and stay glued because we have so much more coming your way. Let us proceed. Come on, let me know in the comment section. Did you dance Alingo? It was as though these brothers could not make any song that was not a hit. They were made for this. They were born for this. And the fans and the audience could not get enough of them. By September 2014, they kicked off their Double Trouble World Tour. And that was how these two young men, born into humble beginnings in a little city in Jos, metamorphosed to take the whole world by storm, to impression their names indelibly in the sands of time. They got signed as brand ambassadors to big brands months, including the much publicized Glow endorsements, which had them going home with brand new cars amongst other goodies. They toured the world and sold out shows in US, UK, Canada and beyond. They had gotten to the zenith of their career. They were investing, buying properties all over the world. They purchased twin duplex mansions side by side each other in Atlanta, America. And then they went ahead and got married, had children. They erected a twin mansion at Omole Estate, which they named Squareville. They lived together as a family with their wives and children. It was as though all lines had fallen into pleasant places for the twins, but little did we know that a tornado was coming. The very first unrest between Peter and Paul happened in 2014. Word got out to the press that the twins, the two brothers, were feuding bitterly, and that Peter had moved out of Squareville, a place where he shared with his brothers, and relocated to Lekki Phase 1 with his wife and kids. What seemed like a rumor turned out to be true, because Peter came out to accuse his brother Jude of partiality and inequality. He said that his brothers were sidelining him and that they had reduced him to a common dancer in the group. Peter complained that if he and Paul should write songs and present it, if they had written 100 songs, Jude would pick 99 songs from Paul and pick only one of his songs. Oh, he complained that he wasn't being treated fairly. He wasn't being treated equally. There was partiality in the management. Paul's songs were always getting picked first. But songs and picking of songs was not the only thing that Peter complained about. Peter went deeper to lament that Jude was always being rude, arrogant and disrespectful to his wife Lola, despite Lola was older than him. No, not Paul, older than Jude. He said that even when Lola was pregnant for their child, Jude was making her life a living hell, and that Jude would not stop bothering his wife. Guys, now permit me to give you a background story. Let me briefly tell you a story within a story. The entertainment seed in the Okoye family was not initially planted by Peter and Paul. No, it did not start with them. It was sown by their elder brother Jude. Jude loved to sing and rap. After Jude was done with secondary school, he would go to a studio there in Jos to record songs, and his two younger brothers, Peter and Paul, would ask to come with him. To Jude, it was just his two nosy baby brothers escorting him, but little did he know that he was awakening something buried inside of them. So Jude continued singing. He hosted some shows. He even released an album. And while he did all these, his two baby brothers watched along. Their own passion for music was bettered, or should I say manifested, and that was how they followed in his path. Jude along the line eventually dropped his career in music and pursued videography and cinematography. He advised his two younger brothers to come as a pair, and then he became their video director and their manager. Let us stop there. Let us bar break there for Jude. So the next question is, who is Lola? Titi Lokpe Loretta Omotayo, the woman who will become Peter Okoye's wife, was born on the 2nd of September 1974 to a Nigerian Yoruba dad and a Russian mother. I would spare you guys the whole of her history and take you straight to the good parts, when she met Peter Okoye and how all of this happened. Lola was a business development director at a top marketing firm, a media outfit called FKG2. The agency where she worked handled some British American tobacco brands, and Benson and Hedges was one of them. Oh my God. If you have been following the story intensely from the beginning, you will remember PSQUARE and their history with Benson and Hedges. How they went for a talent show that was sponsored by Benson and Hedges, and how they won, and how Benson and Hedges sponsored their first album. Can you connect the dots? Can you see the link? Can you? Okay, so Lola was already a big girl at that time when PSQUARE was struggling and trying to come up. Peter and Lola met at one of these shows that her agency had organized, and she said that the chemistry, the physics, the biology was present from the very onset, despite there was an almost 10-year gap between them, her being the senior. Lola was 35 years at that time and Peter was 26, but according to Lola, age is just a number. Lola played a very significant role in the career and the growth of the twins. She would book them for every show that her company organized. She facilitated their very first gig in Lagos, and when they finally moved to Lagos permanently in pursuit of their hustle, Lola gave them her official car for a few weeks for them to use to get around. Peter confessed that that was his first time in his whole life of entering a vehicle with air conditioning. He said that every night he would go and sleep in the car. Before long, Peter and Lola began dating, and in 2007, she got pregnant. By 2008, she bore their first child, a son, whom they named Cameron. She became his baby mama. When Peter's Konk Igbo family discovered that he was seriously dating this Yoruba woman who was almost 10 years older than him, a socialite, a Lagos big girl, oh my God, all hell was let loose. Peter's mother must have carried herself and flung on the floor, typical African mom style. Peter's family kicked against him trying to settle down with this older Yoruba woman. All these women that would have messed themselves up in their prime, shopped around every Tom, Dick and Harry. Then when they are getting older, when they are pushing to 40, they will now be looking for one young Tom that they will hook, one young Mimi, one young Papa that they will use pregnancy and tie into marriage. God forbid. Ajibokwa to fiakwa. So Peter Okoye's mom could have reacted. Well, it is reported that Peter's mother insisted and said over her dead body, would Peter ever get married to Lola? But somewhere along the line, when this feud was going on, Peter's mother passed, and then Peter went ahead and got married to Lola in 2012, 5 years after she bore their son. He said in an interview, "You made me a better man, Lola. I owe you nothing but love and loyalty." And he sure did keep to his words. This move by Peter to marry Lola, a lady who his mother had rejected during her lifetime, and then she passed, and then he ran off to get married to her, sure angered members of his family, especially Jude. Somehow they preferred Anita, Paul's woman, who was younger, more socially acceptable than Lola. What a coincidence. The marriage between Paul and Anita, who was more accepted, has now packed up, while Peter and Lola are still going strong in leaps and bounds. What an irony. Life has no manual, does it? Well, let's get back to the story. So yes, during this first public feud between Peter, Paul and Jude, Peter had complained that Jude has been disrespecting Lola, as well as not demonstrating equity in their business dealings. Jude, on the other hand, reportedly accused Lola of instigating and pushing Peter against his family. He allegedly asked Peter why he didn't marry Lola when their mother was alive. This fight got so intense that the police was involved. Peter employed the services of a lawyer to split their estates, and Jude took to Twitter to say, after over 10 years of hard work, it's over. I'm done. They went their separate ways for the first time. But after much public outcry, after much external intervention, the brothers resolved their differences and got back together. They addressed the media, explaining that siblings fight everywhere, even amongst the fans. Siblings fight and siblings make up. And theirs was only different because they are celebrities and their fight made it out to the public space.
It's just a normal thing that the way you argue with or quarrel with your siblings, it's normal. People, the only sad thing about it that
it got out, Abby.
It got out, and people wouldn't have. After when it was happening, we were still performing in shows.
So the brothers got going. They released their 6th studio album, went on tours, and it seemed like all was good and fine. But was it? Well, we're about to find out. 2 years after Peter and Paul had their first major breakup in 2016, they had an even dirtier, messier, more explosive breakup. Peter took to Twitter to drop several bombshells. He said, "People change management and you are not different. Usher Raymond did it. Beyonce did it as well. So it is not new. A manager is being employed by the artist and not the other way round. Peter and Paul is P-square and every other person is an attachment. Peter and Paul has the right to sack the entire management team. Business is business. Period. Family business can be a pain in the... Please, whosoever makes any transaction with Northside Entertainment or Jude Okoye on P-Square's behalf does so at their own risk. Warning, Northside Entertainment is the record label of Jude Okoye, their elder brother. Let's go on with his tweets. Forcing yourself that you must remain P-Square is so crazy. Enough. What the fans want is Peter and Paul P-Square, and that's what I want. Period. How can you run a business with no structure? I stand here 100% for my brother Paul and P-Square, but not with our so-called management. Team P-Square. Please help me ask my twin why he insisted that everything we own must be shared equally with Jude. Otherwise, P-Square should split. This is serious. On Twitter. So apparently, Peter has a problem, a very big problem, but not with Paul, his twin brother, with their management, with his elder brother Jude. According to these tweets, Peter does not want Jude to manage them again. Peter does not understand why Paul only wants to be P-Square if Jude is involved and would rather back out if Jude is not in the team. Peter insists that it is not compulsory that family must be managers. That Beyonce's father was managing her, but at the time, he left and she got the professional manager. She got the neutral person. And that's what he wants for his brother. Jude should step aside and go away. Let he and his brother be the P-Square. P-Square is just the two of them, not 3 people. Jude responded to Paul. He made just one tweet and he said, "My brother, please be careful. Only God can rescue you." It was as though Peter had given Paul an ultimatum to choose between him and Jude. And Paul did make his choice. He chose Jude. For Peter, he has always been a driver of my nuclear family, my wife, my children. Paul was more of an extended family mindset kind of person. He believed in one big family. Paul had this belief that Jude was in the best place to manage them. He believed that nobody can love them and have their interest at heart as much as Jude will. He believed in rising and carrying his elder brother along. He believed that Jude had invested so much in them, and it wasn't okay that now that they are doing well, they should dump him and get another manager. They had different ideas and concepts on this issue. So Paul made a choice. He released the picture that he, Peter, and Jude had taken in the past, and then he cropped out Peter, replacing him with a studio. The message was clear, but just in the interest of those that are too slow to see this clear message, he accompanied it with words. He said, "This is where I belong, and this is where I stand. You do music in the studio, not in social media. You have family issues. You discuss that in closed doors, not in social media. Family is family. Blood is blood. If you don't do family business, then who am I to you?" And that, my dear brothers and sisters, marked the second split of PSQUARE. Peter moved on and coined the stage name Mr. P. He employed the services of a brand new manager and then released the single Look Into My Eyes.
Look into my eyes. Look into my eyes. Tell me what you see.
Paul moved on also, adopted the stage name Root Boy, and retained Jude as his manager. This was getting both serious and saddening. He released a very emotional single called Call Heaven. It was a song dedicated to their late mother, to come and see what has happened between her children, her sons that she left together bonded, only for her to die and they scattered in many pieces.
Make somebody please go heaven. Make a tell my mama say it don't happen.
Twins made from one ovum now turned to be sworn enemies. It got really so bad between them, between the brothers, that on the night of July 2016, Peter threatened to sue Jude for booking a show for Paul as an individual using the brand PSQUARE. A lot of people watched in horror as these two identical twins demonstrated the deepest forms of antagonism for themselves in public. And at a point, a lot of public figures who could not bear to see this happen began intervening. Mercy Johnson was begging. Peter Obi, former presidential aspirant, intervened. So many people came in to settle these brothers and iron things out between them. And after much persuasion and appealing, they reconciled and got back together. Although exhausted, the fans were happy, at least thankful for small mercies, at least thankful that they were back together. They went ahead to do that thing that they were known for, that thing that we loved them for. They released hit songs like Away, Nobody Ugly, and the almighty Bankalats. My Bankalats na bagam, my credit no dey bounce.
Cause my Bankalats na bagam, my checking no dey bounce, my mansion no na badam.
They were back to doing what they know how to do best, and so they lived happily ever after. Did they? No. They had a third split, a major rift, which saw these brothers throwing punches at each other in public.
Successful. If I call your house, what will happen? Man, bring my coffee. Repeat them again, too. Carry your coffin, come. If I call nigga, you don't know what to do. Repeat it. See, repeat it! Peter, shame on you. Peter, boss, say shame on you. Stop it. Boss, say shame on you. Hey, shame on you.
What happened? In what seemed like out of nowhere, in September 2017, Paul made this post. He said, "Back to Niger. Don't take my silence for granted. Only a woman can come where there is peace and destroy it. Hashtag, you know yourself. You know yourself. Try me this time. I swear, Yashko open. You will know that blood is thicker and stronger than juju." Hey, my God. Can we guess who this message was for? Drop in the comment section if you know who this message was for. While we were trying to understand why Paul put out this cryptic post for his brother's wife, news got out that PSQUARE had cancelled their US-Canada tour. At this point, we were like, come on. Not again. This is getting so annoying. This is getting too much. We just hope this is not what we are thinking. Well, our fears were fully confirmed when Peter published a letter of termination from the PSQUARE group. He said, "What I am about to do has been a very difficult decision to make. I have decided to use this medium as a means to terminate the agreement between PSQUARE. I have tried and exhausted all my options to make this work. However, it seems as if Paul is not willing to cooperate. For example, he cancelled our US tour without discussing it with me. He has also been accusing and threatening my wife and family of unimaginable lies via social media outlets. I cannot continue with PSQUARE in conditions like this that would jeopardize my well-being. Remember that Jude has threatened to kill me and shoot my wife in the presence of Paul and Mrs. Imoke, former First Lady of Cross River State." He concluded by saying, "I wish Jude and Paul the best in their careers. I love them and their families, but my family too is important. I cannot betray my wife and kids. My family comes first." There were a bunch of other stuff that was said in this publication. So Peter, going by the name Mr. P, formed his own record label, which he named P Classic Records, and then signed a deal with Empire. Paul, called Rude Boy, also created his own record label in partnership with Jude, and he named it Fire Department. Peter dropped an album which he named The Prodigal. It had songs such as Ebano,
Your body in a Ebano.
and Just Like That.
Remember when I met you? Just like that. We became lovers. Just like that.
Paul also dropped his own album, which he titled Rudy Kill Us. It had major hits in it, which includes Reason With Me and Audio Money. Jude for the first time came out to address this rift with Peter. He said that he does not know till date what he has ever done to his baby brother. He said that he sat Peter down and asked him, "What have I done to you? What have I ever done to you? How have I offended you? Tell me." And Peter didn't have anything to say.
See, in the future, this is about what my children will wake up
Yes.
and see. I can't keep quiet for it. It's very obvious that even if I am found dead and at the corner of a street, Peter will still have something negative to say about me. I don't understand why. Nigga, I've not spoken to you for 2017 September. I've not
Wow.
I've not communicated with you. I've not in any way even set eyes on you by mistake. What is it?
But bro,
that
you
still
guys
want
live in
from
the
me?
same, because your house is very close to his household.
Bro, everybody mind in business. What do you want from me? Now you push me away from the boat You still know they happy say they swim. What do you want? Is there anything that I still have in my possession that you want? Even people will lose their loved ones 3 years ago, don't move on. Nigga, what the fuck do you want?
Yes.
It's driving me nuts. It's like, I don't even know anymore. What do you want? This problem has nothing to do with Peter and Paul. Peter and Paul know their problem. Peter and Paul know they fight. Peter was fighting me to be out from PSQUARE.
Mm-hmm.
All because Usher did it, Beyonce did it, everybody did it. Paul was like, okay, give me a reason why Jude has to go. He could not give any reason. Let him just go. This person did this person did this person. Paul was like, if I don't get reason, Jude no they go anywhere. Now Paul has to be punished.
So these brothers carried on solo. Peter, who seemed like a more commercial brand, got a lot of solo endorsements, including a brand deal from online sports betting company Merrybet. He dabbled into acting and did exceptionally well at it. He featured in Genevieve's Lionheart as well as Netflix Shantytown. Paul, on the other hand, did not do as much as Peter commercially, but his singing, you got to give it up for Paul. You have to leave it for Paul when it comes to his lyrics and his singing. His solo songs were more accepted by the fans and by the audience. These brothers remained separated for 4 whole years. They were not in talking terms with each other, and it seemed that was the final end of PSQUARE. Guys, there is a saying that blood is thicker than water. Is that the case here? Because if it is not, I do not know what this is about. On the 17th of November 2021, the 3 brothers released a video of themselves hugging, kissing, and making up. They announced that they had reconciled once again and that they were back together as PSQUARE. They dropped a single, Jaye.
So put your hands up in the air. Make me Jaye.
And then announced that they will be embarking on a world tour. But guys, at this point, it was different. I mean, different with their fans, different with the audience. I do not know if it is the 4-year gap. Trust me, 4 years is a long time in the life of an artist or the career of an artist. I do not know if the fans had simply gotten worn out with the constant fight to break up and make up. But whatever the case was, people had moved on. Nobody was excited anymore about their reconciliation or even about their music. People had gone cold and had grown away from them. They had moved on to other faves, moved on to other music. They were done. Despite PSQUARE tried to reignite the spark, the more they tried, the more they passed off the aura, the energy of upcoming artists struggling to get attention, struggling to put out sounds and music that people were already done with, over with. And so it became clearer and clearer that PSQUARE had worked so hard to get to the zenith of their career, and when it was time to go even beyond, they used their own hands to destroy the brand. And now they are back to struggle for the stage, to struggle for recognition and relevance. But it was gone. It was there. Many fans have lost interest. What they had was their past legacy. They had lost their grip. It wasn't the same. Fast forward to 2024. This year, tongues began wagging when in May, Paul got remarried to Ifeoma, his girlfriend, in Abia State, and Peter was conspicuously absent. People began to speculate. Is it that they have fallen out again? What is the problem? No, not again. But true, very, very true to this suspicion, the PSQUARE brothers have fallen out once again for the 5th time. And this time, the brawl is even so much worse, so much more bitter that law enforcement agencies are involved and arrests are being made, including the involvement of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the EFCC.
What happened this year? I was invited by the EFCC.
The word out there was that Peter had facilitated the arrest of his twin brother Paul and his elder brother Jude. He has accused them of financial crimes and fraud.
A repetition against me and my other brother. And I did not expect, I never thought it would come to this part. People are telling me, what did you do? Somebody say you're going to go to jail 20 years, they're going to lock you up. What did I do? Okay, what is it? They told me everything. They've already printed all my account statement, everything, put it on the table. I explained this. First of all, what entered my mind? What if I was a bad person? I'm even doing one dubious like a Yahoo boy. I saw this guy don't just finish me. What I knew it was a bit kind of serious was when I said you have to get the shorty, you have to get the lawyer, you have to get this. I said, what? 1 month ago, they called me, they called him, they called the other brother. Say, first of all, we have to say that after all investigation, Paul is innocent. First. So now after they told you every time the truth came out that I was innocent, what would you do if you're done? What the next thing you do? I'm sorry.
Simple.
I didn't know.
Simple. So there was no I'm sorry from your brother?
Never.
And here we are once again. History is being repeated. We are confronted with the split of PSQUARE for the 5th time. What do you have to say about this never-ending brouhaha? What do you think is the problem here? Who do you finger is the cause of this never-ending feud? Do you think it could be the wives, the women, especially Lola, as so many people accuse? People wonder how these young boys have been doing their thing right from when they were teenagers in secondary school, all the way to university, all the way to adulthood, and they were fine. We didn't hear bararam. But immediately they got married and women and wives were involved. Splitting of property, court case, dividing house, kasala. Busted. Do you think that your wives indeed have a role to play, an underlying role in the constant rifts existing between these brothers? Do you blame Peter? Some people have condemned him. That immediately Peter got married, he started saying, my wife and children, forgetting that he also comes from a family. And that he is supposed to carry all his family along, not rubbing it in their faces that as long as I'm married, the most important is my wife, my child, and every other person can go to hell. Do you think that Peter is not managing his family crisis properly by always and constantly running to social media, getting law enforcement agencies involved, getting lawyers, getting police, getting EFCC? Do you believe Peter is not being wise and treading carefully? Do you think that he was wrong? Do you think that he insulted his mother's memory by going ahead to marry that one woman that his mother swore on her grave that he should never get married to? Do you think he was wrong for doing that? Or do you blame Jude? Do you think Jude Okoye is to be blamed in all of this? Do you think that he didn't play the role of big brother, unifying, uniting his brothers and dealing with them with love and equity? Do you think that he chose a favorite twin? Do you think that he was wrong for choosing not to stay away even when it became clear that he was the center of discord between the twin brothers? Do you blame Jude? Or do you have blame for Paul? Do you think Paul was wrong for refusing to stand with and be loyal to the PSQUARE brand and to his twin brother? Do you think it wasn't proper that he chose to stand with Jude and them Peter? Do you think? What do you think? So now that it's clear that the PSQUARE brand has disbanded for the 5th time in their career, what are your hopes? What are your expectations in this matter? Are you hoping for a reconciliation? Are you hoping that PSQUARE would come back together Or is your hope for a reconciliation just as brothers? This P-Square thing is not working. Let them just reconcile as brothers and do their thing separately, even if they're not as big as they would have been as P-Square. But it's clear that P-Square cannot happen. The differences are much. Do you believe that they should reconcile, forgive themselves, but put an end to P-Square? If you had one advice, just one advice for Peter, Paul and Jude, what would that be? This story is the story of the rise, fall, rise, fall, rise and fall again of the biggest music group to ever come out of Africa. It is the story of brothers, twin brothers, joined at birth but separated by material assets, ambition, maybe women, and certainly a clash of ideas. It is the story of a strong team failing to realize that their success lies when every individual that makes up the team contributes according to their capacity in their own best areas of strength. It is the story of Peter Okoye and Paul Okoye. It is the story of P-Square. My prayer to them is that God gives them strength, wisdom, peace, a contrite heart, and a discerning spirit. I do wish them all the very best. So guys, yes, we have come to the end of today's video. If you're new here, you're seeing my face for the first time, or if you've been watching without subscribing, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give this video a big thumbs up already, drop all your comments down in the comment section, and stay glued because there is so much more coming your way. It's me, your girl barrister Neze, and this is Nezeville. I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye.